So what lens should you buy? That's a good question. Now, without knowing what you like to shoot, let's look at the lens focal length. For this comparison, we'll use the 24 to 70 millimeter lens as well as the 70 to 200. Within the 24 to 70, I'm going to use the 24 millimeter, the 35 millimeter, 50 millimeter, as well as the 70 millimeter. On the 70 to 200, we'll use the 70 again, the 100, 135, as well as 200 millimeter focal length in this comparison. The building that you're looking at is actually Ramsey High School in Birmingham, Alabama. We are about 2,100 linear feet away from this facility. I'm starting at the 200 millimeter range just to give an idea of what the zoom actually looks like. And we're going to go all the way from 200 millimeters down to 24 millimeters. Notice the difference of the surrounding areas that you're able to see as we zoom out. Also notice that the focal breathing that happens when you're focusing at any range. All lenses have this characteristic, some more than others. So 200 millimeters from one manufacturer may not be exactly the same 200 millimeter from another manufacturer. The distance actually is measured from the sensor to the first piece of glass that's in the lens. So that's consistent, but the way the light actually goes in and is diffracted to the sensor, it varies. Now, as you see, you're getting a wider view. Remember that this was f13 so that you can see a deeper depth of field. Now on this image, we are about 360 feet away from the statue. This statue is 56 feet tall from toe to tip of spear. The pedestal is about 124 feet, a total of 170 feet tall. You'll notice to go from 24 millimeters all the way up to 200 millimeters to get the statue mainly in. After we get so close, you'll notice that I'll have to recompose the framing, and I'll actually have to do that twice within this shoot. Again, you'll notice the focus breathing of the lens, which is really the lens trying to focus. Although you can get a clean image of the statue at 24 millimeters, at 50 millimeters, at 70 millimeters, you can also zoom in only so much before the image starts to distort. Now that has more to do with the quality of your camera, how the resolution of the camera is. But you see, as you zoom in, you're closer, you're tighter, your image quality will sustain. Notice how the shake that happens in the image. This also happened in the scenic view of the city as well. The longer the lens is, the more susceptible it is to shake. The wider, it's less noticeable. Let's look at something that's a little more common per se. The truck that you're looking at is a Toyota Tacoma. So you can look that size up, or you can go outside and probably see a Tacoma truck. Now, this video was shot at about 126 feet away. Notice how when you zoom in, you're seeing less of the background as well. It's not just cropping in, but it's also, you're also getting a narrow view. So in other words, if you were just take your fingers and form an L shape with your hand, that's the equivalence of, we'll just compare that to 24 millimeters. If you bring your fingers tips closer together, that's going to be more in kin to looking at a 200 millimeter lens. These images you're looking at now are pictures I took of a friend after a video shoot. Now notice with each lens, you see the distortion that actually happens with the face. All these pictures were taken with me trying to fill the frame up with his face only, for the most part rather. And you see the distortion and how the lens affect the human face. Of course, when I started with these pictures, I was within a few feet of him. And as the lens focal length changed, I had to take a few steps back. But I think it's clear how the lens, from these images, how the focal length actually affects the human face. I hope you found some useful information in this video. If you did, how about considering liking and subscribing to this channel to help me grow it? Leave a comment down of anything that you feel like I've missed or I should have considered in making this video, and I'll make the corrections in the near future, okay? You be blessed. Take care. Bye-bye.